Sid's been looking into the data for a year now. Aren't the people at the castle doing the same thing?
Is that supposed to be Leon?
These videos are not for children. If you are a children, then piss off.
Hey there, it's me, your least favorite YouTuber, VInfuso. And here's something you may not have known about me. But I'm actually a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. As a matter of fact, I put the dumb in Kingdom Hearts fandom. And upon researching for another upcoming Kingdom Hearts video with a notable Kingdom Hearts YouTuber, more on that later, feel free to guess who I'm talking about in the comment section below. Like Alice, I fell down a rabbit hole. And that rabbit hole was the revolving door that is Kingdom Hearts voice actors. Now, being a huge fan of the now 20-year-old series and a fan of voice acting in general, you'd think I'd be more educated on this matter from the beginning, but no. I was actually somewhat oblivious, which is something you could say about me and my day-to-day activities. I mean, yes, I obviously knew some of these voices were changed over the years, but I don't think I knew the extent of just how many of them were. So to really start off this video, let's go through the more obvious, the ones I already knew. In Kingdom Hearts 1, the big bad, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, was played by everyone's favorite smooth-talking bad guy, Billy Zane. Also known as the Phantom, and that douchebag from Titanic. He really made the role his own, and gave a very memorable performance. Because who could forget this voice?
All worlds begin in darkness, and all so end. The heart is no different. This world has been connected, tied to the darkness. You see, darkness is the heart's true essence.
Kingdom Hearts! Fill me with the power of darkness.
Well, the answer to that question is those in charge of making these games, because despite being the voice of the primary villain in the first game and a future plot point in all the games to follow, he never returned to the role. Instead, he was replaced by Richard Epcar, a beyond talented voice actor who's probably best known for his time as Raiden. And while I do love Richard Epcar's work, I loathed the idea of hearing his voice come out of this character model. For me, it was Billy Zane, or it's a bust. And while I will say I still probably prefer Billy's performance mainly due to the nostalgia factor, and me playing this game for the first time as a child in 2002, as well as the fact that it's just an awesome performance in general, Richard Epcar really deserves his due. And I've become more than content with hearing his rendition of the character.
All worlds begin in darkness, and all so end. The heart is no different. This world has been connected, tied to the darkness. You see, darkness is the heart's true essence. Kingdom Hearts! Fill me with the power of darkness!
It's not the same performance, but it's really not trying to be. On its own merit, it's great work. Any hangups I have on the voice of the character is simply because I heard Billy Zane first. Both are great in my opinion. Another obvious trade-in, especially for me, was the former Squall, Leon. Now, when I was a kid, hearing the broody voice of Angel coming out of this long-haired gunblade wielder, it just seemed like the perfect fit. David Boreanaz was perfect casting, as it seemed to me like he was just emulating his old Buffy the Vampire Slayer shtick.
They'll come at you out of nowhere.
Who are you?
And they'll keep on coming at you, as long as you continue to wield the Keyblade. Those without hearts.
The darkness in people's hearts. That's what attracts them.
And there is darkness within every heart. So, tough luck.
What happened to my home? My island?
You know what? I really don't know. We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other.
This guy was meant to play the former Final Fantasy hero. So imagine my young heartbreak when I heard this voice coming out of that same character in the next major installment in the series.
What's up? So, Sora, do you know what's going on then? Think you can handle this many? Then that'll have to be the one I take care of. Sora! Donald! Goofy!
Who is this guy? He ain't Footloose.
No good!
I think I kinda had the same problem here that I had with the first replacement I mentioned, because I'd loved the original voice actor too much to acknowledge how good the follow-up one really was. Doug Earlholtz, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. There's gonna be a couple times on this list where I mispronounce names, and I Future reference, I am sorry for that. I'm just not very educated or good looking, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Doug Earlholtz had to do a good enough job because he's kind of become the official voice of the character since then, voicing Squall in all the Final Fantasy installments since. Looking back now, I think both voices fit the character well, and I'd even say that Doug is able to emote a bit more as the character, managing to come off both as a serious loner and a cocky, self-congratulating dick, and seeming natural in both sides of the character. I like them both, but as the years have gone on, I feel myself actually liking Doug's performance just a bit more. In Kingdom Hearts 1, the woman whose name is not Iris, and in fact Aerith, was voiced by Mandy Moore. I personally liked her time in the Kingdom Hearts series, no matter how brief. It was another case of casting the right actor in the right role. Mandy Moore's real-life persona didn't seem all that far off from the woman known best for dying. And I'm not just talking about her role in A Walk to Remember. Both Mandy Moore and Aerith are pretty squeaky clean, innocent-seeming sweethearts.
You know there are many other worlds out there, besides your castle and this town, right? When the Heartless came, everything changed. No matter where we are, our hearts will bring us together again.
Mina Savuri, again, sorry about the name, took over the role in the next game, and again kinda became the official voice of the character for a time.
It doesn't matter. This is great. Everyone's together again. Here. They're presents for you. Leon thought you might like to have them. You mean you don't want me there when you go away again? No matter how far away you are. Once you find your light, I'm sure it will lead you back here again.
As she voiced the role in Advent Children, but I don't know, guys. I think I'm in the minority on this one, as I've heard a lot of other people state their dislike for Mandy Moore. But I don't know, I always felt like Mina was just sleepwalking her way through the lines. She just seemed like she was so bored in the studio reading the lines, and I understand because, you know, as much as I like Kingdom Hearts, it's not exactly Shakespeare. You know, darkness, darkness, light, light, hearts, hearts. That's... Don't steal my pitch, but that is my go-ahead for Kingdom Hearts 4. I just wasn't a fan. I don't know, maybe it's me. Feel free to let me know. In Kingdom Hearts 3, the role would yet again be recast, this time with Andrea Bowen taking over for the character.
But if we still remember him, then he must still be with us.
Yes.
The real Organization 13. Maybe their data will lead us to where Sora is.
Andrea's no stranger to Aerith either, as she played the role in Crisis Core and in Dissidia. Not a whole lot I could say about her performance here because she was only on for like 3 minutes of the DLC.
Well, there it is.
In Kingdom Hearts, Christy Carlson Romano, seen here playing the game for the first time, was chosen to voice Yuffie.
I'm the great ninja Yuffie. Oh, you're slipping, Leon. I think you might have overdone it, Squall. Besides, I couldn't forget you, even if I wanted to.
It's me! It's my voice!
But in Kingdom Hearts 2, actress Mae Whitman was chosen to take over the role.
Hey, you guys! I see you're still in top form, but I had a feeling I'd see you guys again. Meet the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee. Things are settling down in town. The only Heartless left anywhere are the local variety. Hey, why the long face? What happened?
Now this is one that I'm almost entirely indifferent to because I kinda like them both. I don't really have a preference here, I just think both of them carry the same energy as the character. They both come across as the upbeat go-getter who could probably kick your ass with their ninja stars. Overall, both really good. In Kingdom Hearts 1, baddie Sephiroth didn't really factor into the story. So much so that Kingdom Hearts 2 reintroduces you to the character and acts as if you never met. So I guess whatever happened after the end of the world in Kingdom Hearts just wasn't canon. But in the first game, he was voiced by Lance Bass, the dude from NSYNC, who was not Chip Skylark or Justin Timberlake. Bitch, you better go bye right now. Even when I was younger and knew nothing about Final Fantasy VII, I still knew that hearing this voice come out of this model it didn't feel right. It didn't sit right with me. The character was a huge threat to you, and I don't know, I guess I figured he should have had a voice that kind of showcased that instead of a very sweet and soft-sounding voice. Like, I mean...
Dodge this, and guard, meet your fate. Rawr. Prepare to fall. Out of my way. I tire of this. It ends here.
Lance, you just don't come off as intimidating to me. You're about as soft as a kitten's tail. But in the next game, he was voiced by Superman himself, George Newbern. And yeah, come on.
Cloud is the one who hungers for darkness. I see. So that's a Keyblade. And I suppose you must be its chosen wielder.
So what if I am?
That last bit of light is always the hardest to snuff out.
Obviously, there's no comparison here. Once again, George Newbern went on to become the kind of official voice for the character as he would voice him in future Final Fantasy installments. Until the new Final Fantasy VII came out, and then they replaced that Superman with this Superman. No joke. Though I will say, I appreciate Lance Bass's appreciation for his time in the role, as he's on Twitter proclaiming himself the OG Sephiroth. I like it. How could you hate him? You can't. He's too nice a guy and too big a nerd. Come on. Master Xehanort was originally voiced by Spock himself, Leonard Nimoy. And man oh man, did he leave an impression. I never knew the Vulcan had it in him to play a bad guy. But holy fuck, he played the ultimate bad guy. Coming off as an all-knowing force of darkness, a master manipulator who hid his true intentions in the shadows, but kept his presence center stage. The man's voice perfectly matched his appearance and actions. And this is a role that I think needs to be highlighted when taking a look back at the Kingdom Hearts series. If he's not in your top 5, at least, in this whole franchise, you need to unsubscribe now. You do not belong here. We will never be friends. We will never get along.
You are indeed strong. The darkness has nothing to fear. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It can only be channeled. He's an abomination beyond hope of salvation. Lend me your strength, Terra. Right this wrong that I have wrought. Use the Keyblade! In ancient times, people believed that light was a gift from an unseen land by the name of Kingdom Hearts. All the seats have been filled. And now, the last vessel shall bear my heart like the rest.
Unfortunately, Nimoy would pass in early 2015, following the release of Dream Drop Distance. And as the character was still a threat in future Kingdom Hearts games, that would mean that he would have to be replaced. Taking over his role was Blade Runner actor Rutger Hauer. And this just really didn't work in my eyes. Granted, Rutger is a great actor, but this just didn't seem to be the right fit for him. Again, in my opinion.
Settle down, boy. The 13 darknesses and 7 lights have clashed 9 times, yielding these 9 keys. Perhaps. That is, if you survive that long. 12 keys we have now. Leaving just 1 more. Now, Sora. Darkness and light's final clash. Now, the Keyblade War will finally reach its conclusion. The Keyblade is complete.
It didn't work. Personally, I thought that a great choice in replacement of Leonard Nimoy would have been the guy from Sucker Punch, as I kind of felt that they had similar sounding voices.
You're tracking snow everywhere.
Should I take them off?
That time has passed. What can I do for you?
But, that's neither here nor there. That didn't happen. Regrettably, tragedy would strike twice, as Rutger Hauer unfortunately passed away following the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, which would lead to the character being recast yet again. This time with Doc Brown actor Christopher Lloyd. While I will say I will always prefer Leonard Nimoy's interpretation, I think that he's the end-all be-all of Master Xehanort performances, I will say Christopher Lloyd did a good job for what he was given.
Settle down, boy. The 13 darknesses and 7 lights have clashed 9 times, yielding these 9 keys. Perhaps, that is, if you survive that long. 12 keys we have now. Leaving just 1 more. Now, Sora. Darkness and Light's final clash. Now, the Keyblade War will finally reach its conclusion. The Keyblade is complete.
And it's nice hearing him portray a villainous role. I don't think I've seen him as an antagonist since Dennis the Menace. Oh wait, he was in that what cartoon movie am I thinking of? Anastasia? Was he in Anastasia? Am I wrong? I think I'm wrong. I don't know. Although interestingly enough, Xehanort's original Japanese voice actor passed away around the same time that Leonard Nimoy did. And in this case, he was replaced by his son, who is also a well-known voice actor and also played the role of Ansem, Seeker of Darkness in the series. Captain Jack Sparrow shows up in Kingdom Hearts 2, voiced by one of my all-time favorite voice actors, James Arnold Taylor. And while I am a huge fan, I gotta say, I do not know how you got the role of Jack Sparrow. Your Johnny Depp impersonation is a bit lacking. And the thing is that this wasn't the only thing that he played him in. He played Jack Sparrow in a couple things, and I don't understand why, because this just wasn't it.
When you sailed away in my ship and marooned me on that godforsaken spit of land with naught but a pistol and a single shot, you forgot one very important thing, mate. Captain Jack Sparrow, if you please. Have I ever given you reason not to trust me? Stay here and try not to do anything stupid. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow.
But in Kingdom Hearts 3, Jared Butler put in the work, and deadass, yeah, I'm from New York, in case you didn't know. I had to check while playing the game that it wasn't actually the real deal. The first time I went through Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, oh shit, Disney really shilled out the money to get Johnny Depp, huh? No. Just a very, very convincing sound-alike.
There, Sora.
Huh? Jack Sparrow!
Captain Jack Sparrow.
You're in Davy Jones' locker, Captain.
I know that. I know where I am. And don't think I don't. I'm in Davy Jones' locker. Assuredly. Never fear. All according to plan. Ah, Hector! It's been too long, hasn't it?
Aye, Isla de Muerta, remember? You shot me.
Definitely an upgrade from the last game. Sorry, James, but hopefully one day, me and you can get together and we can just look back at all of this and just laugh. Now, originally, Wayne Allwine played the voice of Mickey Mouse, which is no surprise, as he was pretty much the voice of Mickey Mouse since 1977, and he'd voice everyone's favorite talking mouse all the way up until his death in 2009, with his last performance as the character in this franchise being 358 over 2 days. Now, I'm sure I'm not alone in saying this, but he was Mickey Mouse to me. Being a Disney kid, I grew up with him in this role. Almost any time I saw the character, it was his voice coming out of it.
Now, Sora, let's close this door for good. The organization might be listening. Don't worry. There will always be a door to the light. Donald, Goofy, thank you. So, I guess we better all pull together and finish this battle for good. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. If those Heartless attack, I'll stand and fight with everybody here.
Since then, Brett Ewan took over the role even outside of the Kingdom Hearts franchise, with his first installment in the series being Birth by Sleep.
What's wrong, Riku? Are you tired? Do you need a break? We can stop.
All right, I'll show you what a musketeer can do.
The Heartless here are stronger than what we expected. I guess we probably should have powered up our Keyblades before we came in here, huh? But still, she chose to wield a Keyblade and fight with us as one of the Guardians of Light.
And I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm just an old man yelling at a cloud, but it just seems like a piss-poor Mickey Mouse impersonation to me. I'm sorry, Brad, I'm sure you're talented to do it, I'm just not feeling it. Lastly, the character of Diz, or Ansem the Wise, was played by Star Wars and Lord of the Rings baddie, the former Count Dracula himself, Christopher Lee. And this man is really something to behold. Calling his performance fantastic would be an understatement. The man was an icon, a legend, and with every performance he gave, it always seemed like he put in full effort. The guy didn't know the meaning of the words half-assed, so thankfully he never saw my YouTube channel. And his time in Kingdom Hearts was no different.
At last, the Keyblade's chosen one.
There's no knowledge that has the power to change your fate.
Oh, I think he can do without a memory or two. You are a witch who has power over Sora's memories, and those connected to him.
She did a splendid job with Sora, but it's high time she disappeared. Roxas isn't the only one who was never meant to exist. A nobody doesn't have a right to know. Nor does it even have the right to be. I am a servant of the world. And if I'm a servant, then you should consider yourself a tool at best.
Alternatively, whenever Sir Christopher Lee wasn't available, Corey Burton was. And yeah, he did just as good of a job.
The fools could never tell the difference.
I mean, I was able to tell that they were two different voice actors, but the performance seemed very much the same. The voice wasn't a perfect match, but the tone and the delivery were. It always seemed like the same character, which is not something I can say with the Master Xehanort performances. Every time there's a new voice actor, it's like a completely different person. That was not the case here. But on top of that, the voices are actually pretty close. So while yes, some of the time I could recognize that it's not Christopher Lee, there's other times where, yeah, it does sound just like Christopher Lee. Again, just not all the time. Am I making sense? Probably not.
Why, hello. It's not often I get visitors. Please, I have created enough victims. I could be nobody, or anybody. It is up to you whether you choose to believe in me or not. I do not remember who I am or whence I came. Everything was washed away in whatever currents carried me here. If there is any reason that I still draw breath, it is to atone for what I did to them.
Corey deserves just as much credit as Chris. These two put in work to make this role work, and it fucking does. This also wouldn't be the first time that Corey took over one of Chris's roles, as he also played Count Dooku in the Star Wars Clone Wars series.
This had nothing to do with me, I assure you. I will petition immediately to have you set free.
Those are some rather strong accusations you have levied against me.
You know what you did, Dooku.
Do I?
Okay, so now on for the voice changes I didn't know about. First there was Naminé. In Kingdom Hearts 2, she was voiced by Brittany Snow, who gave the character her soft-spoken, almost sigh of a performance.
Hello, Roxas. My name is Naminé. Do you remember your true name? I'm a witch, with power over Sora's memories and those around him. You were never supposed to exist, Roxas. Nobodies like us are only half a person. You won't disappear. You'll be whole.
But in every other entry in the series, she's played by Megan Jett Martin. I don't think these two voice actors have a similar sounding voice, but like I said about the Diz voice actors, they do have a very similar delivery, and the essence of the character pretty much stays the same throughout.
I'm so glad that you managed to hold on to who you are. No matter how much I change his memory, Sora will never forget Kairi. I was in Kairi's heart, but then we were struck by a powerful darkness. And I woke up here. More false memories of me will just make his feelings for Kairi even stronger than before. No, I don't. I put your memories back together. That part is true. I was the one who took them apart in the first place.
I never really recognized that this was played by two different people, but maybe that's because Kingdom Hearts 2 was so far out of my memory, and again, the performance mostly felt the same, that I didn't acknowledge it, or my brain just didn't pick up on it because of that. But looking back, I think I prefer Megan just a little bit more than Brittany in the role, because Megan sounds a lot more authentic, to me at least. And you know what, to be fair to Brittany Snow, it is really hard to make Kingdom Hearts dialogue sound authentic. That is not a slight against her. One thing I definitely didn't realize was that the voices of Kairi and Xion were traded back and forth between actresses Hayden Panettiere and Alison Stoner. Hayden Panettiere played Kairi in Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and even in Birth by Sleep.
Sorry, you lazy bum. I knew that I'd find you snoozing down here. This time, I'll fight. You know Sora's completely hopeless without us. Come on, Riku. It reminds me of the secret place back home.
where we used to scribble on the walls. Remember? Come on, Sora. We made it this far by sticking together. You can't go alone.
But Allison Stoner took over the role for Kingdom Hearts 3.
I'm training to become a Keyblade wielder like you. I just like talking to Sora, even if it's on paper. I want to be a part of your life no matter what. That's all. I had no doubts that you'd pull through. I told you, Sora. You're safe with me.
If I'm being real, I enjoy Allison Stoner as a performer a lot more than Hayden Panettiere, but for this specific role, I enjoy Hayden's performance a lot more than Allison's. But again, that probably has a lot more to do with me growing up with her in that role. She was the first voice of Kairi, and she was the person who voiced her the most, so that's what I'm used to. Changing her so late in the game, literally, is, well, a bit confusing. The two emote similarly enough, but sound completely different. I think it also sucks now because allegedly Kairi's importance in the main series is about to expand, just as we're getting rid of the original voice actress, so... okay. Now, strangely enough, Allison Stoner played Xion in her first appearance in 358 over 2 days.
I can't use the Keyblade anymore. And without the Keyblade, I can't do my job. Thanks, Roxas. You can have this back. You made it possible for the two of us to go on a mission together.
My Keyblade is not a sham.
What gives you the right to say that?
Kind of weird that we can feel anything at all without having hearts to feel with. What am I supposed to do? It was my choice to go away now.
But then was replaced with Hayden for Dream Drop Distance.
Riku, what do you wish?
Only for Allison to take the role back for Kingdom Hearts Final Mix and Kingdom Hearts 3. So I don't understand. I do not know what's going on. I don't know why. Pretty much the exact opposite I said before. I prefer Allison Stoner in this role. Again, probably for similar reasons. That was the voice I originally heard come from this character. It seems to fit it the best. And hearing Kairi speak through Xion is just... I don't know, all kinds of confusing. Look, the plot is already more convoluted than it will ever need to be. We don't need to make the behind the scenes just as convoluted and crazy, okay? There's no reason for this. I also never realized that the entire Twilight Town gang was replaced. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that other than to show you the difference.
I mean, it's true that stuff's been stolen around town, and we've got a score to settle with Cypher and everything.
Nice fighting. Thanks, Sora.
Nice work, everyone. Added to what we started with, we now have... ta-da! 5,000 money!
Donald, Goofy, how are ya?
Wouldn't it be weird if the thief wanted to steal the real Roxas or something?
So does this mean that weird stuff's going down again? You kidding, Pence?
Maybe it's because they were so inconsequential and I didn't care enough about them that it went unnoticed, but yeah, I never knew that. I also didn't know that Riku voice actor David Gallagher, also of Seventh Heaven fame, once voiced young Xehanort before the role was eventually filled by Benjamin Diskin.
All that gallivanting through the sleeping worlds, and yet you learned nothing. Hands off my new vessel. Organization 13's true goal is to divide Xehanort's heart among 13 vessels, dream by dream. You nearly buried yourself in the dark of sleep.
I like both these actors in the role, but ultimately I kind of feel like David Gallagher was just a placeholder until they found an actual voice actor for him. I don't think there was ever any intent of continuing on with him in the role. And again, just making things convoluted, okay? He looks like Terra, but he's not Terra because Master Xehanort took over Terra's body, and Master Xehanort is the old version of young Xehanort, so I don't understand why he looks like the guy he would later possess. I don't understand why he sounds like the other guy he would later possess. So it's all strange. It's all strange. That's our stance. So with that being said, these were hopefully all of the many voice actor replacements in the Kingdom Hearts series. Did I miss some? I know I probably did, and if so, let me know in the comment section below who. Did any of these voice actor changes surprise you? Or did you just know all of this and I'm just the only one who's really dumb, and maybe a tad bit deaf, but mostly dumb? Let me know. Anyway, I'm V Infuso, y'all are the Degenerates, and I thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was V Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
Catch him next time. Same bat time. Same bat channel.